warning parents that students may be sent back to remote learning. And for the first time,
I hate to say I told y'all so.
Issuing a travel advisory recommending 14-day quarantines for interstate and international travel.
I hate to say I told y'all so.
Biden's transition team prepares his administration's COVID response plan. Faith Abube is
Joe Biden and Kamala locking the United States down.
Growing urgency across the country as new coronavirus cases have reached levels never before seen. On Thursday alone, a single
told y'all because of the flu season, they're going to blame it on the flu season.
More than 150,000 new infections. And for the first time in this
what you think in them flu shots?
West Coast issuing a travel advisory.
That vaccine they've been trying to give you.
A 14-day
get everybody.
Visitors traveling from out of state or internationally and encouraging residents to stay local. The 7-day average now a staggering 71% higher than it was about 2 weeks ago.
I said if we did not get control of this, that we could reach 100,000 infections a day, and people thought I was being hyperbolic. And now
hyperbolic.
Across the country, an increasing number of COVID-19 patients overwhelming doctors and nurses. According to the
told y'all they finna lock it down.
Nearly a third of hospitals now saying
the city of Minot now has more cases per person over the last 2 weeks than anywhere else in the country. Sean Sitma, the mayor of Minot, North Dakota, joins us now for more on how his city is responding to all this. Good afternoon, Mayor Sitma. Thanks for being here. What kind of a strain is this surge in COVID cases putting on your community?
Like in the United States down like they did across the sea a couple weeks ago.
It's certainly putting a strain, I think, just like many communities across the country. We've seen a surge as the weather turned south on us a little bit. Things got cold, people went inside. We've certainly identified a lot of our different activities that have been super spreader events, whether it be weddings or bars or just large group gatherings. I think like we've seen many areas across the country. But the strain that you just aired was the healthcare workers. Our issue isn't necessarily the availability of beds, but the availability of staffing, as many staff have either contracted COVID or have close contact.
We've got breaking news on COVID-19. Angelique Kamlani is here with more for us. Angelique.
Thanks, Adam. We're just learning that New Mexico and Oregon are two states that have entered stricter lockdown orders. We've heard that New Mexico is looking at 2-week stay-at-home orders beginning Monday, and Oregon a partial lockdown from next Wednesday, and that includes closing gyms, dining, and limiting groups up to 6 people. And of course, we know that this comes after we've seen sort of that patchwork in some areas of the country, largely in local government areas, so whether it's county or actual cities, for example, in El Paso, Texas, or New York City, but we haven't seen any specific states take this until now. Chicago was one of the first to look at a stay-at-home advisory this week, and that was also sort of restricting who could gather, and as well as the timings of when certain businesses could be open. And so
I don't need one motherfucker. They let you know
the early days of the pandemic when we had stricter.
This should let you know. You know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers don't want you celebrating with your family. That's how you know these holidays is some bullshit. Shout out to that 11/11 I'm looking at right there. And everybody else looking at. They let you know these holidays is some bullshit. Cause guess what? They telling you for the Thanksgiving holidays, don't have nobody at your crib unless the people that live at the crib. They don't want your family members coming over for Thanksgiving. Do you get this shit? Do you get this shit?
In Arizona, no new restrictions as we head toward Thanksgiving. We're asking tonight, could that change? We'll get more from ABC 15's Nicole Gregg.
Well, any actions would come down from the governor, and we have not heard from him in a public briefing since October 29th. But tonight we're getting insight from the emergency management perspective of what's likely happening behind the scenes. Friday night on Mill Avenue, and you will still find people apprehensive about going inside and sitting down in restaurants.
I'm still really scared and skittish because, I don't want to put myself or my family.
Look at this food.
So I'm going to try to avoid it.
COVID-19 cases are increasing, especially in the 15 to 24-year-old age group, according to the latest.
Y'all heard that? According to the latest trends, 15-year-olds to 24-year-old age groups, they blaming it on y'all. They blaming it on the young people. Let me tell you why they blaming it on y'all. They don't want y'all. Y'all had the most fun. 15 years old to the 24-year-old age group. Y'all turn up. Y'all enjoy yourselves to the maximum, to the fullest. And guess what they saying? They don't want y'all to enjoy yourself. They blaming it on y'all.
The modeling and the predictions are demonstrating that our case count and hospitalization are only going to increase.
Wendy Smith-Reeve is the state's former director of emergency management.
They will be looking at what is happening in other areas across the nation to really compare and contrast where those states are at versus where we are today and where we're projected to be going in the next few weeks.
They're going on
There
lockdown.
are around a dozen states taking new actions. Connecticut urging people to work at home. New Jersey, indoor dining closing at 10 p.m. And Minnesota, indoor and outdoor gatherings restricted to 10 people. We asked our ABC 15 analyst if emergency management would be looking at the outcomes with new actions versus no new actions.
From a problem-solving perspective, you're looking at it as, okay, if we do nothing, then here are the options that we
Rising cases and hospitalization means a stay-at-home advisory will soon go into effect here in Chicago.
And the advisory will also impact how many people can get together for events. WGN's Julian Cruz now live at Ravenswood with more on that. Julian.
Well, Ray, emergency rooms like this one at busy Swedish hospital already seeing the surge of patients for weeks now that Mayor Lori Lightfoot is warning about as the city imposes new safety restrictions. Once again, it'll be doctors and nurses, many fear, on the front lines bearing the brunt of the surging pandemic.
They do what we ask of them and what the community asks of them, but it won't be easy.
Dr. Bruce McNulty knows what's coming, a surge of ambulances and private vehicles delivering COVID-19 patients to Swedish Hospital, one of the busiest emergency rooms on the north side.
We saw significant numbers in the spring, and we are starting to see just the same patterns again here in the fall, where large number of patients are testing positive, and then, you know, several days
They probably
later,
a Freemason.
get really sick.
We've seen no sign of slowing here, and we're in uncharted territory.
People are dying. We're seeing a daily uptick in the amount of deaths that we're recording in the city of Chicago. This is literally a matter of life and death.
Mayor Lori Lightfoot says it's a stark reality, with 1,000 or more Chicagoans likely to die by year's end if we don't bend the curve, which is why the city is issuing a 30-day stay-home advisory.
Fight for your rights.
Effective 6 a.m. Monday. There's a 10-person limit on social gatherings, indoors or out, with the mayor urging people to cancel non-essential travel, which, as painful as it is, also includes out-of-town relatives on Thanksgiving Day.
We must tell you, you must cancel the normal Thanksgiving plans.
Right. That's fucked up.
Particularly if they include guests that do not live in your immediate household.
Over the course of
That's
a
fucked
single
up.
week, the city health department says the
Fucked
positivity
up.
rate soaring.
You hear what they telling y'all?
9%.
You hear what they telling us?
Spoke with Matt. Half of all hospital patients have COVID-19, and there are now 6 mobile morgues, with the city preparing to get another 4 to keep up. El Paso tonight remains under a stay-at-home order, with all non-essential businesses shuttered, and that's because of an order by El Paso County Judge Ricardo Samaniego. That order now being challenged by the Texas Attorney General, along with local businesses. And Judge Ricardo Samaniego joins us tonight. Our thoughts are certainly with your community during this heartbreaking time. Thanks so much for joining us, Judge.
And thank you for the opportunity to talk a little bit about what's happening in our community.
Certainly those images that we've been seeing of hospitals and mobile morgues are just searing. How is the community holding up?
Well, it's a difficult. We're a community that came out of our first anniversary of the Walmart tragedy and killing of 23 beautiful souls and 46 that were injured. We were right in the middle of our bereavement process. when we started this pandemic. So we, at that point, we were asking, you know, let's everybody go out, let's get united, let's do the best we can, let's work as a community. We had master calendars, and then the next thing you know, we're asking everyone to go back home and stay